Hello, and welcome to the Dreamworks Dummies. Using your touch-tone keypad, please enter the first 3 letters of the movie title you would like to see. You've selected
Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron.
If this is correct, please press 1 now. Hello, and welcome to Dreamworks Dummies, the only Dreamworks podcast hosted by self-proclaimed non-experts. I'm dummy number 1, and you can call me Germdove.
I'm GQ, and I'm dummy number 2.
Still, are you?
I was gonna.
I'm the turtle.
I'm Dobbs. One of us is the third one.
That's fine.
That's how numbers work.
It's a tie.
I'm so excited for this movie. I don't even know where to start.
Oh my gosh, I can tell you're brimming with excitement. GQ's decorated his face.
What could this be? What movie could it be?
He put all the games on the wall behind him.
Stop. All right, I have a very important question. Did you go out with physical money? No, did you purchase that specifically for this bit?
I won that a long time ago.
Okay.
I sent that to him.
Well, there you go.
I did buy this though.
You did buy that.
That's my
$10.
That's
It will be presiding over tonight's events.
I mean,
I'm
totally worth it.
Untamed.
I'm so excited about this movie. I want to call it my movie. Can I do that?
I think that slot's already taken, Turtle.
Oh,
We did Turbo.
That was not my movie.
That was for you.
Was it?
I can't think of any other reason we would have picked Turbo.
It's true.
Yeah.
So at some point, we have to say what the movie was, or we could just not for the whole night. Just never bring it up.
I mean, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend the whole time trying to do this podcast without saying the word horse.
Does that one count?
Oh.
Is it going to hurt your voice?
It's going to...
We watched Spirit, Stallion of the Cinnamon. That's how I'm saying it.
That'll work.
I
Wait,
have
I
no
watched-
objections.
I watched Spirited Away. What? I watched the wrong movie? No, I'm kidding. I watched the Spirit Halloween movie.
You've been holding on to that one.
I knew I was going to say it.
All right. So I don't even want to get into the plot yet. What is everyone's initial? What did you think about this movie before you watched it? You know, before you looked up the trailer or anything else. What did you think about this movie?
I looked it up on IMDb, see who was in it, and I saw it had Matt Damon, and then a whole bunch of names I didn't recognize, and then a man named Michael Horse
Michael Horse
is in the horse movie. Is
Okay.
Goose gonna teleport
Sorry,
in?
everyone. We had to cut. Turtle made a really tasteless 9/11 joke.
What?
Something about B movie.
That was for B movie.
That was
I thought that was
ants.
Yeah.
Oh, was
That was
Oh, it was
absolutely ants.
It all kind of blends together.
We're not going to put that in the podcast, right?
The tasteless 9/11 joke? No.
No, that's gone. That's gone.
No, we can't have that.
I did not. This is as bad as you accusing me of drinking the hooch last year.
That was even longer ago.
Was it last year? It wasn't last year.
Don't even remember how long you've been off the hooch.
Can we talk about my movie?
I mean, I think we have to.
All right. Michael Horse. That's where we are.
Michael Horse shows up a little later into the movie. Not
This
at the very
movie
beginning.
The
This movie was
about
the-
horses.
This movie was the definition of this could have been a memo. Nothing happened. A whole movie and nothing happened.
And such a long running time.
Mm,
Because the horses were usually running.
they were running through.
Oh God.
You see what he did there? He's just got a notepad and he's like, all right, next, get ready for the next one. He's got his bits
So-
lined up.
I mean, so we start at the very, very beginning of the movie, right? And he's talking about his whole introduction to the world and all that.
I've got something
I
to say
can't-
about this speech, but go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. The only thing I noticed is that in the very beginning, we're panning around and seeing all the different wildlife that lives with all these horses. And we see Brother Bear. Like, it is the two bears from Brother Bear.
Really?
Yeah,
Maybe.
only like
very
6
similar
years
looking
early.
bears.
I've never seen that one.
Same.
Yeah, that's by some other animation
That's-
studio.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't have heard of them.
Not sure. Probably some indie isn't around anymore.
So
Anyway.
the opening sequence, it really dates itself with the CGI usage.
Worst CGI. How is it possible that
It
Lion King had a better fly through being hand drawn
Mm-hmm. Well,
than this did?
that's exactly it. It was that era of we could save a lot of time, i.e., money, if we, instead of drawing this expansive landscape, if we just 3D model it, let it bake for a few days, render it out. It looks mediocre, and we roll with it.
Terrible.
Something I want to say about this opening bit.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first things that horse Matt Damon says is, "This is a story I want to tell you that cannot be found in a book." I looked it up. There is a book. It was
It's
released in
based on-
2002 by Puffin Publishing, made the same year as the movie. So this whole movie is based on a lie.
Huh.
It's a foundation of lies.
You couldn't
I
make
mean-
that stuff up.
And having seen the movie, I would have rather read the book.
Yeah. Mm. After the terrible stampede, we have the world's most sexualized looking birth.
Well,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the moist horse birth.
it was wet. I did not want to see the horse
Oh.
being born. That is the first thing in my
Oh.
notes.
Yeah, second thing in mind.
And
I'm
My
a
third.
little
Michael
impressed.
Horse.
I'm
Ugh.
impressed that he was able to tell us about his own birth. Because
Well, yeah, he was
that's
there.
fair.
I mean, he was there.
And then let's talk about the gross drinking.
Yeah, that was the next thing on my list.
The
Don't want to see
shocking
the horse nursing.
eyes
Ah.
raising because something's happening down there, and then you cut to the spirit. I guess
Oh
He's-
god,
he's not named Spirit yet. He doesn't have a name for most of the movie.
He really doesn't. Not till the very last moment. Oh,
Spoilers.
and the
Doesn't
whole
he?
People
movie.
that care about this movie.
It's,
Okay, so yeah, we get to the audience is subjected to horse being born, watching the horse being born, watching the horse nursing with
Mm.
milk dribbling out of its mouth.
As you do.
A weird choice by the production team to put that in the movie.
Yeah, are we allowed to Dobbs? Are we allowed to swear in this?
Nay.
Shit. All right.
he said he said the thing.
I was just gonna say, watching that moist horse drink from its mom while it's covered in its
Mhm.
birth sauce was just fucking gross. Anyway,
Sauce.
It was.
The fact that he used the word sauce there was a problem. That's
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
mm.
horse.
The horse has been
slurry.
marinating for a while. I don't know how long. I'm not versed on horse development times.
And
Why don't you
then
go look that up for us, Turtle.
I won't.
Okay.
I won't.
Okay.
And then we have another Lion King type situation where just suddenly the horse has grown up.
Now, something in my notes. There's a little interstitial bit where he's like not fully grown, but it's showing that he has grown, and he's running on like a cliffside, and he looks down at his mom, and his mom kind of gives him like a, and then he kind of gives her a back, and it's at that point that I'm like, oh, she's gonna die. That's my first prediction of the movie was she is not going to make it to the end of this movie because there's no way they'd have that knowing look, and everything's fine. We'll see how that plays out.
Now, I have a confession to make here.
Okay.
This is just now at this point in the movie where I realized that Matt Damon is talking for the horse. No, here's the thing. The whole time, in reality, I thought from the name of this movie, I didn't look up anything on this movie or know anything about it. I thought, first of all, that Cimarron was like a type of, like a tribe of Indians. So I thought that that's what that was. And I thought that the Native American was the one that was speaking about his experience, meeting this horse, and it's their love affair, not love affair, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So in my notes, I have just now realizing that this was told by the horse.
Well, I learned something pretty valuable while Spirit was still a young horse, and it's that you really shouldn't lick icicles because your tongue will stick to them.
That's a good lesson.
Good.
Quite a bit.
He also there was like a whole herd of buffalo that appeared out of thin air.
They snuck up on him because they're notably stealthy creatures.
Buffalo are known for doing
trouncing through the waters.
No.
And then like the buffalo are just like an inch away from Spirit's face and just belting out a roar straight into his face. And he likes it. I don't know why he likes it.
He thinks it's a hoot.
Why wouldn't he?
If I was a horse, I wouldn't be too thrilled with it.
Especially a baby horse.
Well, let's get Matt Damon on the call and
Matt, come on.
Find out what he thinks about it.
He's on standby.
Matt, are you
might be having trouble with Discord?
Okay, we'll come back. We'll come back to Matt.
Okay.
So there's a lot of he's an adolescent horse and now he's grown up horse.
Yeah.
So I don't want to dwell on the horse rearing.
The him being an adolescent horse and then suddenly being a grown up horse. I think we also missed something else because not only is he just grown up horse right away, he's like the leader of the herd instantly.
King horse.
Nepotism.
King horse.
King horse.
King horse.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know the correct hierarchy of horse herds.
I don't know anything about wild horse herds. Like, does anybody?
Yeah. I think this was like maybe a 5th or 6th grade topic. I don't know if you guys got this in your school. So there's a horse king, and then there's the horse serfs. Sometimes there's a horse jester.
How do they have horse serfs if they're not near the coast?
You can't set them up with this.
So what they'll usually do is like they'll gather everyone together and maybe have some light snacks.
They're working together.
And so then you'll have your horse derves.
Horse derves.
I've broken him.
Horse devours.
Horse devours.
All right. So it's a couple of minutes into the movie where the horses are full grown and interacting, where it slowly dawns on me. These horses really aren't going to talk. This is going to be a whole movie of for 2 hours.
Subtitles on.
No, God.
Those were some quality subtitles.
I have to watch this again. Oh, no.
So the next line I have in my notes is about the
Did
horse
you
noises.
already have it on, or did you turn them on?
No, I had him on for the whole thing.
Oh, no.
Man.
Whinnying,
Different
nickering.
It's a bunch of whinnies and nays.
So I just had, if you didn't know what a horse was, horse noises would be terrifying.
That's
There's
good
a
point.
variety of horse noises happening. And it's a whole spectrum of snorts and whines and everything in between.
You paid Matt Damon over $2 million, and the main character is.
See, they should have had a horse do the narration and Matt Damon make the horse noises.
Yeah, and he's the only horse that can talk.
Perfect. Uh-oh. I see a fire in the distance at night.
A fire? Why would there be a fire so early?
Don't know.
Go on, Germ.
Is that fire related to the mountain lion?
Well, I don't care about that mountain. That was
The mountain lion is okay.
That was-
What do you have to say about the mountain lion?
Because
completely
he decides
uneventful.
not to stomp on the mountain lion in order to preserve the film's rating.
Completely
That's the only
uneventful.
reason that he would
if they did it off
logically
camera?
not stomp on.
What if they
I
did
mean,
like
we
a
saw it get
dramatic
away.
stomp and then cut away to like birds flying out of trees?
But the horse can gargle its mother's milk while the mother looks all like seductive. But we can't stop
Okay,
to death the predator.
Oh, I don't think anyone else is reading that in the mother's expression.
It looks seductive. It looked seductive when it was drinking the milk. It looked seductive when it was giving birth. The horse, that mother was giving me the eye. It's just me.
Anybody else want to touch that?
I'm good.
All right.
Turtle believed the horse wanted it. But that 1 to 3, so.
All right.
Fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I forgot
in
all about that
addition
mountain lion.
to after he saves everyone from the mountain lion, I mean, it shows the herd and it shows just how many lady horses he has. I mean, he's got a good thing going there.
Are
And,
horses like lions? Do they have like prides of lady horses like
Well,
lions?
see, you have a horse king.
He could barely get that out of your mouth.
Again. Not again. Oh.
All hail King Horse.
So, and then there's also the young horses, the colts that are in the herd with him, and he doesn't want them horsing around.
No horseplay.
Oh,
I have to erase
God.
my next note. I had that as a joke, and now it's gone.
It was too easy. I didn't even think of it. It's too easy.
There's just a lot of I don't remember who said it here. There's a lot of nothing that happens.
It is
in
a
this
lot of
movie.
nothing.
It's a very empty movie. It's 98% empty space.
I think it's
the atomic movie.
surprising how much nothing there is, considering how short the runtime is. Because it's like 75 minutes, something like that.
It's only 75 minutes?
Yeah, it's super
It
short.
feels like a journey.
I swear, there were 4 different times I paused the movie, and there were 40 minutes left each time.
Well, and this is the question I had like way down the line, but we can start. I can ask the question now and we can think about it by the end. What is the span of this movie? Like, let's say when he becomes the king of the horses to when we've returned, spoiler alert, we return. How long
is from-
was that?
When he was born until the end.
Good answer.
Until a point where he was still alive.
So you're talking about just the hero's journey when he leaves the herd and returns. I don't know, like a few months.
That's the question. Like, how long? Like, there was all this traveling and whatever. But you know what? I just realized. I just there's a whole nother situation we haven't even talked about. We haven't even looked out. Let's talk about Bryan Adams.
Oh yeah, I got that.
He's all over the place.
It's
all over. The
this
worst
whole-
songs.
goddamn movie is Bryan Adams.
Oh my god.
And the songs
The
are
real
so
main
on the
character.
nose
They're
of like
so
singing
bad.
exactly about what the horse is thinking or doing.
This Phil
Like-
Collins knockoff situation is just out of control. Just awful.
Does certainly have a style.
Because like
He was
at this point, I think
practically,
we're already
ringing
2
in.
songs in.
Yeah, there's
There were a
already
lot
been
of songs.
several songs. There were a lot of songs.
Yeah,
Not
Well,
very
because
good
there's
ones
no
either.
dialogue. What are the horses going to say?
I thought I was
Yeah,
going
Matt
to be
They
the
were
only
talking
one.
about what they would say if they could talk.
The horses could have sung.
You know what? You know what's kind of confusing me is they didn't go all in. Like they could have just not had narration at all,
That's
and it
true.
would not have changed much. It
Everything
could have
that
just
Matt
been we
Damon
look at
said.
horses for like 45 minutes, and then we see our first human and get our first line of dialogue.
The
Everything
narration
that-
is basically like when you're looking up a recipe, and before the recipe it says, "Back when I was a child, I used to pick apples on the farm with my grandmother." And there's like a 20-minute spiel before you get to the recipe for baked chicken that I'm looking for.
Except
Like
in
it's
this movie, they'd pick horseradishes.
horse.
I looked this up. It's way later in my notes, but I'll say it now because we're talking about it.
Mhm.
Someone out there made a cut of this movie without Matt Damon. Because everything that he says is something that you can just extrapolate if you have eyes and can read emotions and read the room. Like he says what he's thinking. It's like
But-
he frowns. I was sad. Yeah,
But because they have Matt Damon, they could put Matt Damon on the
on the box.
He
box.
directed this. He helped direct this. He helped direct this along with somebody named last name Cook, and one cook was too many cooks.
I did send that to him. There is somebody with the
He
last
did
name of
that.
Cook.
Yeah. I stole one of your jokes.
Actually, Matt
Yep.
Damon's name is not on the poster prominently.
That's very surprising.
Yeah.
It's like they,
Did they forget?
I don't know. I see from the studio that brought you Shrek for like a coming soon kind of poster.
Mm.
But it looks like
From
they
a
No,
studio
because
that
they're
knows-
so similar.
From a studio that knows better. Spirit.
Wait, when was Shrek 2001?
I believe so, yeah.
This was like the next year.
Man. Huh.
Go DreamWorks.
Yeah. Interesting.
DreamWorks make the dream work.
So anyway, about that fire.
Oh yeah, the first thing that happens in the movie.
It's the first notable thing to me. I don't know.
It's like
Other
look
than-
at horses running around for 30 minutes. And then we'll think about starting the plot.
Right.
We'll get there.
We have our inciting event. And it's an exciting inciting event.
Because there's something that's bright and shiny in the darkness.
Yeah, something unusual and different. And you gotta.
I mean, if you're the horse king, I think you do gotta.
You do.
It is your job.
Anything the light touches and anything that makes more light.
That's fair. So we go down and we see all these guys, and this is where we first see the first part of horse ownership as slavery. Because
yeah,
if you
we
don't
got the
see
domestic
that
horses.
all the way through this movie, there's nothing but a slavery allegory with the horses that are domesticated versus these wild horses and stallions.
And for horses that can't talk, that horse that was tied up at the post was talking. He
That's,
was like, "You need to go."
yeah, they were terrified. And then the horse, they of all the stuff that they can't do in this movie to keep its rating, am I mistaken in thinking that horse took a drink of alcohol?
It
Did
did.
anybody else-
I thought that you and Spirit wouldn't get along because he obviously was not a fan of Hooch.
That's fantastic. We're
Great.
keeping that one going.
No.
Yeah.
This is where my horsing around thing would have come in handy because I was going to say he almost led them back to his horse family, unless if he wasn't horsing around. Dove took it. Moving on.
Yeah. Been taken.
You're welcome.
Yes, in his escape to get away from the humans, he almost leads them back to his family, but then he goes back.
I had a great note here because for whatever reason, be it him just being outside and running around all the time, Spirit is way faster than all the domesticated horses. But since he leads them back to his herd, he's clearly dumber than the horses, the captured horses, domestic horses.
Well,
Surely they're not still following me. Oh,
maybe the domesticated horses weren't really trying. They didn't want, him to get caught.
There are plenty of examples of that in the movie.
That's true.
They were being spurred though.
That's true too.
Well, either way, he gets all roped up, lassoed.
Then there's another
Captured
song.
even. And yeah, then we get more singing.
We get more Bryan Adams songs.
Bryan Adams.
Get in here, Bryan Adams. Do we have him on the call? Is he ready?
Him and Matt Damon are out back.
Okay.
They're having a smoke.
All right. Well, when they're done, we'll get him in for the rest of the call.
That's fine.
Right.
So like one of the first things that the army does when they start trying to tame him is they give him a haircut. Like he's got his whole long flowing mane, and then they just buzz it down to nothing.
It's an army allegory there.
Slave allegory again. Okay, it goes again.
Now, you're not going to believe this, but it's at this point in the movie. I paused it for the first time.
And how many minutes?
We are only 21 minutes in. And this is the part where Spirit keeps kicking that guy. And this is the point where he has a name. Okay.
He has a name. He's the first.
This is the point where they're like, "Oh my God, we're 21 minutes into this movie, and we haven't thrown a single bone to the kids. They've had nothing to laugh at. They've had no entertainment. He's got to kick this guy." And so he just starts kicking this guy like all over the place,
mercilessly beating him for the entertainment of the children.
So I've got in my notes. So they did like this kind of sweep around the camp because this is like an army camp or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they did another Lion King thing where they had the soldiers like march past like the camera in the same way they did in Be Prepared with All the Hyenas, like really Nazi-ish, like they all kind of. And it was just like this is the Lion King over again. That's what this is.
Lion King walked so that Spirit could gallop.
Oh,
I mean, I've never seen that movie, so I don't know what we're talking about.
Well, okay, so you know how like horses will have a horse king?
Oh yeah.
So okay, like it's that with lions.
A Lion King, if you will.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you get the idea.
I want what Dove the sound that he made as a response is a clip we can read. Yum. Need to be able to replay that whenever I want. Anyway.
Okay, I don't have any more notes for like 20 minutes of this movie.
Does the general seem to have a weird fixation with this horse? Is it just me?
Well, yes.
He treats him human-like almost.
Well,
he knows he's the main character of the movie.
A representation of the Wild West that needs to be tamed. They're actually pretty explicit about it. They spell it out. There's no nuance here. He makes a speech about it.
Well, I'm just saying he looks at the horse as though the horse knows what's going on. Like he literally, really makes a human
horses are up to something.
I know those horses. It's Chicken Run. Like I know them chickens are out there, up to something. Just know it. He takes such an unnatural attention to this horse that he's like, starve the horse. It'll know what it did.
Yeah, no food or water for 3 days, and there's all these scenes where he's like slamming his head against the wall with his mouth open.
Yeah,
looking at people drinking.
He's physically weakening the horse.
It's a horse.
It will have less fight in it. Well, no, it doesn't. But it can't fight if it's almost dead.
But he acts like he knows.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's at this point that I realized this movie is not for someone who likes horses.
It is not for horse.
There's been a
girls.
lot of sad horse imagery in this movie up to this point.
But you get to see all these horses just running around free.
Yeah.
No.
And then there's a little bit of a horse tax where you have to watch a bunch of them roped up.
Like Lion King was like, da 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 da, Mufasa's dead, da 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 da, and this was like, oh look at this, and then horse torture the whole time.
Horse torture.
Horsture.
But while we're tied up to the post,
Get the needle.
starving and we're dying in the from thirst and whatever,
Mhm.
we capture our next character,
Little Creek.
Little Creek. I
of
forget
the
they said what
Lakota
tribe. Lakota. That
Lakota.
was the tribe.
Mhm.
They have a Lakota Indian.
Little Bear, that was Indian in the cupboard.
And I noticed that they capture Little Creek, and the colonel is very unimaginative with his punishment. So he just tells them to do exactly the same thing with him that they did with
To
the horse.
See, that's what I'm saying. They way overhumanized this horse because I can see them doing that to a person because they're going to crack or whatever,
Mhm.
This horse has no idea.
But it's really convenient though, because after Little Creek gets tied up, there's all these wolves that we can hear howling in the distance, and these wolves, they must be friendly wolves because they give him a knife.
Well,
Classic wolves always throwing knives over fences.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I saw.
The next day, the general wants to ride the horse. That doesn't go well. It goes
he makes
so
this big speech.
it's a terrible speech. Once again, about
he removes the nuance.
Yeah, it's about taming the West in the same
Mhm.
way as we're taming the horses, and it still doesn't go well. So what are we going to do? We're going to shoot the horse.
Sore loser.
Tied to the post again.
Tied to tied to the post, so it doesn't even have a running chance. Like, we're going to literally shoot fish in a barrel here.
And then we have a big action sequence.
Woo!
Yay.
Where all the other army horses are set free.
Yeah, it's big calamity of stampede horse and wow.
One
So
guy
this
gets
is the-
kicked again.
Right. So this is the first point, because it's happened several times. This is the first point that the Native American saves Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving like a vacuum. We owe this guy something.
Well, Spirit still doesn't, let him ride on the way out either. Like he's like hobbling along on the side the whole way through.
So now this, we're free. We're free. We've got all the other people, but technically we're not free because now we're just caught by the Native American now.
Yeah, just gets roped up pretty much the same way.
It's really big, except I mean there's a little more freedom, and the horses that are running around there don't look nearly as sad.
Yeah,
they look,
he's got a giant pile of apples, so that's something.
It's a big pile of apples.
That's right.
Plus that one horse, the lady horse.
You can tell it's a lady horse because of the bedroom eyes.
Turtle, did you notice?
Was this one seductive?
It was. Try to tell me it wasn't. Listen, tell me that horse wasn't seductive. It basically had like makeup contouring on its face to make it look like Cher. It had feathers in its hair. We know that was a seductive horse. Tell me.
Horse lashes.
It was a seductive horse. You know it. Not as seductive as the MILF horse from the beginning, but definitely still seductive horse.
Is that how it
Agree to
appears in the
disagree.
credits? I guess she's not in the credits because she doesn't speak. No one speaks. They're all...
No. Like the mother horse didn't even have a name because, no one ever talked to it.
Yeah.
well.
So Little
Yeah.
Creek also tries to ride Spirit, right? And
Yeah.
Spirit absolutely refuses.
No one will
No
ride
way.
him.
And
And it's-
here's where the bit comes in, where Matt Damon says mares, which is basically the equivalent of bitches, right? Like, did anybody else get that?
I didn't
Like,
pick up on that way, but
mares, am I right?
I guess I get what you mean.
Like that totally was what he said. It's a kid's movie, but still.
I was too distracted by the two friends of Little Creek, one of which is voiced by Michael Horse. That's him.
That's where Michael Horse shows up.
Yep. The star of the movie.
That's him.
The fact that you spent more time studying the credits of this movie than the movie itself tells me it wasn't a very good movie.
We only care about Michael Horse here.
Hey, spoilers. We'll explain that. But it wasn't good as we go.
That's fine.
So I guess in an effort to try and help tame Spirit, Little Creek just ties him together with Rain. I'm sorry, the Lady Horse.
Lady Horse.
Who I guess we haven't learned her name yet, which is Rain.
I just learned her name now.
I don't think I caught that either.
Yeah.
Now, is it meant to be like a rain cloud or like a horse's reign? Like, is she named the equivalent of like shackle,
Oh,
ball and chain?
I could see how it would fit. Why not both? ¿Por qué no los dos?
Or a reign like a king's reign, like the Horse King. See,
Oh,
I can do it
the
too.
Horse King.
Horse King. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's the king
It
of
all
horses.
comes full circle.
At this point, after showing a little bit of kindness to a child in the camp, and
He's good with kids.
you know, he is. There seems to be a budding love relationship between the horses. Because why not?
He does like her enough to share an apple with her.
That's
That's
love in
true
my
love.
book. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised we didn't get like a straight up Lady and the Tramp scene, but like with an apple
With
very
a horse
awkwardly
apple.
being.
I mean, we
nibbled
kind of
on.
did.
Yeah, sort of.
No, yeah.
They both cracked it in half.
Now, if one of the if maybe Michael Horse had come out with an accordion and started playing,
Like a live action overlay of Michael Horse.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Let's try to ride the horse one more time. Now that we've fallen in love with Lady
Well,
Horse.
One thing, when they're out there wandering around, he sees his eagle friend from way earlier before, and he realizes that the eagle can bring him back to his horse herd.
Oh, is that what happened?
The eagle
Yeah.
represents freedom.
I thought he tried talking to the eagle, and the eagle like said, "Talk to the hand," and ran away. Like
That'd be the
I
wind.
thought. Talk.
No, I mean he was still tied to Rain, so he wouldn't be able to follow the eagle.
He was being reined in at that point.
Yeah, she like fully sat down to stop him from going anywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not
Now
cool.
can we try to ride? Now can we try to ride the horse one more time?
Yeah, because he pretends that he's going to let him ride him, right?
Mhm.
Yes. My note here is horse is a dick. That's the note
Yeah.
that I have here. Horse is a dick, tricks rider. That is
Mhm.
that is where I'm at. It looks like he's going to let him, and he seems to have softened up, but still no. No.
But I mean, I guess being a dick is what he needed to, because that's when Little Creek realizes he's never going to ride him.
Yep.
He just
I give
lets
up.
him go.
End of the
That's that.
movie.
Roll credits.
Yep.
I'm
There's
done.
Get Bryan Adams out here.
There's no reason he can't just go home at this point.
Attack!
It's the army.
It's the army. The army has found them. And there's mass chaos. So Spirit goes back and tries to, help. So we've definitely learned something from our journey, and and what do we see down in the distance? We see Rain and Little Creek going up against one of the soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them gets shot. But who? Which one? Because they both fall in the river. One of them has been shot. Maybe.
Who?
I don't know. See,
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't think. Is it just me? So jumping ahead, did we ever know? Did somebody get shot?
Yeah, it was Rain.
The horse.
How do you know?
Because they're
We saw
pending
the
the bullet
ball.
wound later.
She was
Oh,
on
no,
screen with the red on her for like 3 minutes.
They never show any kind of bullet wound. Maybe I
There
watched.
was a bullet
They
hole.
did.
There was a
I
bullet.
never saw. I know.
What?
I know that we were exhausted from the river rapids.
And bullets.
I mean, maybe your screen was set on like 4:3 or something.
If you
Yeah,
watched
maybe-
this on a DVD from Walmart
and all
that was
the horses
edited,
looked really tall.
Yeah, maybe the ratio was bad. The screen ratio, because I'm known to do that. You see.
It's true.
so
Check out
when he was
BTV.
released, when they let him go and said go home, I was like, this movie's over now.
Yeah.
And then when they
Can't
all
you see
fell off the
nobody wants to
waterfall,
Get out
I'm
of
like,
here.
all right, now it's really over because
This
all the
isn't
main
even-
characters just fell off a waterfall.
Not even
Nope.
close.
Still 30 minutes left.
Ugh.
It's still going.
And so after they get to the bottom of the waterfall, Spirit is exhausted because he's been swimming in the
What?
water or whatever. And they
Mhm.
What was
capture
his
him
plan?
again.
What was his plan? You jumped into the water. What were you going to do? You're going to grab hold of the horse? What is the plan? You don't have hands. You're just going to jump in and drown with the other horse? Like that's the plan? I don't understand why you jumped in the water. Like you can't help. You can't help. What are you going to do?
He's
Swim?
a powerful swimmer. He could probably push her to safety.
I have ran so many horses in
Okay.
video games to the edge of water trying to get them to jump in, and they won't.
I
The Spirit just right in there.
Towards the river.
just don't see how the horse could help another horse. Like maybe the rider, like if he can scoop up the rider on its back. But this is another horse. A horse that is proven that it's a pretty hefty horse by setting down and not letting them move. What is your plan for this horse? I don't know. I think jumping in the river was silly. I think it was silly.
Horse is a
Sorry.
silly goose.
That's I just like
Well,
I
it worked
literally
out. He manages to push the horse's corpse to safety.
good.
And then he gets captured, and all of the army folks that are capturing him say that they're not even going to bother with Rain because she's not going to make it.
And it's at this point where I thought, man, whoever makes this movie really hates horses.
They despise them. We get put on a train.
Yeah.
This time we're not even
Best
going
part of the
back to
movie.
not even going back to the camp. These guys were a little nicer when they put him on the train, but at this point we get in the train box, and then here comes Bryan Adams again.
Yeah.
With another sad song of a forlorn
Got a
horse.
horse on a train.
And the second they got him on the train, I'm like, he's never getting home again. If they're taking him so far away that a train has to take him somewhere else, there's no way he's going to just prance back.
See, that
Where
was
his
my
family
question. Was what is the span of this movie? Because you ride the train, it's going to take you a while.
He spent
Away.
enough time with the Lakota that his mane grew
His
completely
hair
back.
it goes back, yeah. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out a timeline for this. I have failed. We give up. You know what? We're on the train. We're never going to see our friends, our family again. The horse that we love is dead. We're not going to eat. We're just going to sit on the train. That's it.
The other horses are trying to cheer him up.
That was nice of them.
It was.
I kind of checked out during the song.
I mean, I was definitely.
Which
fast-forwarding
the
a
whole
lot.
movie was one Bryan Adams song.
And then we see another Lion King situation where in the stars and the clouds in the sky, we see horses
Oh, it was Cocaine Dream. Yeah.
running.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. We were copying Disney's homework a little bit.
It doesn't matter.
It's for a later time. This time when the train stops, We're at a railroad camp. I didn't know it was a railroad camp at first. I thought, what is this? It looks like maybe a mining camp or something, but it turns out it's a railroad camp, which is actually really similar because they're blowing up things. Whatever. Another
Everyone's grown
sundial.
though.
What's that?
If
Doug?
it was a mining camp, I said everyone is grown. If it was a mining camp, there'd be miners present.
I hope we edit that one out.
I'm gonna add canned laughter.
Our job.
Applause.
Our job is to get the train to pull a full-size train over a mountain pulled by horses.
Mm-hmm. Because they're not
That
they
is what
can't
we're gonna
blast
do.
through the mountain, so they're gonna have to pull the engine over it.
So to do what exactly, I'm not sure, because we're just trying to connect to the other side where the railroad is. Is that,
Yeah, they're building railroads.
that's fine, but how is that useful for the future? Like,
Are
just every
railroads
time-
useful for?
No. I mean, how is pulling a train over the hill? Pulling a train over the hill every time it gets to that point. How is that useful?
Well, they need it on the other side
Why?
to put down more tracks.
I assume it goes off into the Wild West, the untamed, right?
Yeah, and you need a locomotive to lay new track. Did you not play Unrailed?
Oh no, that robot.
Okay,
No.
so Turtle's got a point here. The intent here by the people at the camp is kind of crazy, and he's right. That does make it a locomotive.
Let's end this. Let's get this over with. The horse. So our hero thinks, "Wow, look at the rising sun in the distance. I recognize that rising sun from where
That's
I
my
live."
son.
I know that son anywhere.
Have you seen my son?
They're heading towards my. Don't ever speak to me or my son ever again.
I want my family back.
They're heading towards his homeland. We can't let that happen.
So what's a horse to do? Fake
Play
an injury.
Yeah. Yeah. Just lay down
Mhm.
in the middle of all this situation. They come and they pick him up out of the line because what could one horse really do, to break up a operation such as this,
Mhm.
Wow.
I'll tell you what one horse could do. He could break the entire locomotive away from the team of horses that's pulling it.
Wreck it
And
into
then-
another locomotive at the bottom of the hill.
Well, first he's got to run away from it, but not laterally.
Right.
he's-
Has to run
he's rolling
directly
around at the speed of
downhill.
sound.
Straight line. Absolutely.
The only way.
Running just directly straight at the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Hero shot.
We're gonna now. We were out of explosives to blow up the hole in the mountain,
Mm-hmm.
but at some point we found some explosives to blow up the whole camp after both of the railroad. Hundreds of people dead. Obviously, we've literally killed hundreds of people at this
Oh
point.
yeah.
Being run over, either being run over by the train or the explosion or fire that happens afterwards. We've killed hundreds of people.
Spirit knows no mercy.
We don't see any of them, but we know it. One of the people tries to catch him by wrapping a chain around his neck, which is nice. Didn't work, but we're just going to pull that chain as we run off into the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know what? I'm kind of happy with it because this movie with all the horse cruelty has really made me hate people, specifically Bryan Adams.
Yes,
Get him back
Ugh.
out here.
Yeah.
It's been a few minutes since he's been singing.
Yeah,
He's getting restless.
let's have him sing about what's directly on
Let him out of the
screen.
cage. Get him out here.
Get off my back.
We run away from all the chaos that we caused ourselves, by the way, and the rampant wildfire that came with it, also killing lots of other animals and destroying any kind of chance of that. And we nearly hang ourselves on a tree branch as we're running away by the chain that was around our neck.
Mm-hmm.
I hope somebody appears out of nowhere to save us.
Magically, somehow, after a train ride that it lasted at least a day, and with no horse, Little Creek shows up exactly in the spot where they're having this. He's faster than a train with no horse. Amazing.
I mean, that implies that they've been pulling that locomotive for a while. Days, months.
I don't know. It doesn't. It seems like they made pretty good time. They had to continually pull on it because you saw as soon as they stopped pulling on it, it headed back down the hill.
It's not easy. I mean,
Anyway.
at least they kind of cut it up a bit. They kind of show the distance shots so you can see like how it's progressing, and we get that training montage.
Training.
Okay.
We're saved.
Yay! All
What
is
could
well.
go wrong? Nope. Some people survived. Now, here's the question. Was the army also in there with the camp for the train people? Were they nearby? How did this happen? Just everybody from the whole movie shows up in one spot, just in one ball, all at the same time. You got the soldiers, the horse, the Indian, the everybody.
The
Except
general
for
who knows that horse knows what's going on.
Except for the presumably dead horse.
I think that the army is there, to watch the train camp and make sure that.
Yeah. See, but that's the thing. I imagine if that general was there, knowing what kind of history, Spirit and him had, he would have been a main character in that camp. Like, I feel like if he was there, they should have pointed it out. Or
I mean, Murphy was probably already dead after failing to help with Spirit. He probably got tied to a pole.
Probably, and then shot. Yes.
Yeah.
No food, no water, 3 days.
It's the default punishment. Oh, I've got a hole in my shirt. Put this shirt on the pole. No food, no water, 3 days.
So it's very strange. I don't know much about the landscape out there, but is it just me, or does it go from like lush forest to dead desert like at the snap of a finger? Just suddenly
there's one shot of the transitionary biome where you can see both the forest and the sort of dusty
like
red.
Yeah. Whatever the story needs, it's there, baby.
Yeah.
It's a very Minecraft way of doing things.
Yeah. If he kept running, he'd go to the lava world and the ice world.
The balloon party world.
Classic.
The food world.
So we're gonna bounce around. We're getting chased now by the general, naturally, and we're very careful. They're very careful as they're being chased to knock off just the riders off of the other horses. Like, I noticed how precisely all the riders knocked into tree branches and things like that, so that the horses themselves didn't get injured. So all of a sudden, we're worried about how how horses feel as a movie.
Now we don't want to be mean to the horses for once.
Right.
Yeah.
Final showdown.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but I mean, I think we left off that during all this, Little Creek is actually riding Spirit for the first time.
Oh,
it's a big moment.
Big moment.
That is true. That's only fair. I mean, they've saved each other's lives now at least once, and
Yeah. And once
you do
that, it gives you the right to ride someone.
They fell off a cliff again together. I've got that jotted down.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So they fell off a cliff for a second time. There are still 20
recurring
minutes
theme.
left in the movie. And I just want to point out, if I fell down a small flight of stairs, I'd be dead. Same day.
Horses are a strong breed.
I guess.
My next note is that after they get chased into the canyon, Spirit has to jump the Springfield Gorge.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely have. I have jumped the shark as a note. Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's when we're finally cornered there. I mean, we jumped the gorge, but we can still be seen. There's still, the general there has his guns. His friends have his guns trained on the horse, and then the dumbest thing happens in the whole movie.
Go on.
Explain it.
Do you really think that suddenly, after all the stuff that's happened, he's killed hundreds of people, destroyed multiple works? We're just going to let the horse go.
He gives the horse this knowing glance, and then the horse gives him one in return.
I mean,
and this is the worst part.
The Colonel knows
Bryan
there's
Adams
nothing
starts singing
to
again.
gain. It's a waste of a bullet. It shows that he's a level-headed man.
He is not a level-headed
water,
man.
3 days.
We're treating the horse like a person again. Like the horse knows, like they've built some sort of bond between them, and I completely unbelievable. Yeah, if I didn't like the movie before, the fact that he just give up, like you've earned my respect, horse.
You played a damn good game.
I think Dobbs is on something, because really what he's after is not killing the horse. He wants to punish it, and there's just no post nearby.
He tried to kill it. He tried to shoot it.
He's got to respect that horse, Riz.
It's Sunday.
Post
on Sunday.
Wow, the kids. There's no post on Sunday.
Oh my
god. Then, however long it takes, we somehow we go home from there.
Yeah, that's it. We just kind of wrap it up. We're done.
Two horses get horse married.
Rain.
His mom is alive. His mom's alive.
His mom's alive. The rain is still alive. How a horse out there in the middle of nowhere survived a gunshot?
Because of Little Creek. They show it. They show it happening.
He was there. Yeah, he was there
tending the wound.
He pulled out a med kit. He was like pulling out bandages and giving her the shock things.
Yeah.
He's using the defibrillator like actively.
He's doing like a Resident Evil style pour, like, oh, look.
Green herb.
Let's reattach that hoof. There you
go. The last note I have is Bryan Adams.
Bryan Adams.
Because we got to end with a song.
Our man, Bryan Adams.
That is the last note that I have, is that there's a ton of songs.
Bryan Adams.
Bryan Adams. God, this movie's over. Terrible.
There were 2 video games, one on the PC and one on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, and some iOS stuff later, like way later.
There was a book series. There was a CG spin-off TV series. And a computer animated film titled Spirit Untamed, which is a film of the spin-off series. And that movie got a video game.
Oh, wow. Were there any films starring Spirit's mom?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Only horses. I just want to go on record as, since I have been, in the public space, horse has been a dirty word. It's a placeholder for any dirty word that you want to say. You would just say horse. And this solidifies that. Horse is a dirty word.
It's a 5-letter, 4-letter word.
Yes.
It's like king.
Oh, that's
the horse.
You guys know about Horse King, right?
I do now.
So you got like,
I've
all
learned
right.
so much.
So you have a horse king, and he rules over the horse serfs.
Yeah.
There may be a horse jester who is allowed to criticize the horse king in a
I mean, you
joking,
need that.
humorous manner.
And the horse says scrambled.
There may be a sect of a horse clergy.
Is it over? Are we done?
For now.
I can't do it anymore. This was a terrible movie. Like, there's no two ways
pretty
about it. Did anybody enjoy this movie? Anybody? Apparently somebody did, because it got an Oscar nomination for whatever reason, but that's just because of Matt Damon.
It has an approval rating of 69% on
Nice.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Nice. I don't know who was watching this and thought this is great, because they obviously got kicked in the head by a horse.
Oh, I remember. I read that there was a positive review from major critics saying, "Hey, good thing that they didn't put some kind of dumb little comic relief character in," and also a review that said, "Gosh, I wish there was a little comic relief character."
That would have
So
made
they
the movie
couldn't win.
so much better if they had a little comic relief character. Unless,
Well, all right, tell us.
maybe
what
Bryan
would
Adams-
the comic relief character be?
Bryan Adams.
Bryan Adams just walking around, poorly green screened in. Hey guys.
Like every time one of his songs starts, it just, kind of runs by.
We recruit Tudyk to do this. Tudyk's going to come in and do a bird that sits on the back of the horse all the time. No snails in this movie, though.
No snails.
I looked.
Unfortunate.
I was looking.
It's 2002. Who is voicing the little dumb comic relief character?
Alan Tudyk.
No,
2002. He's
not
busy.
2002. I don't think he is busy. I think he's
Eddie Murphy.
Maybe.
I mean,
That's
with the
believable.
success of the
But he was just in Shrek from the same people.
Yeah, he's I don't know, a squirrel.
He's on fire at that point. I mean, just
Yeah.
Oh wait, 2002.
2002.
He plays a horse.
Shrek.
Oh,
Kevin
he's a
Spacey.
horsefly. A horsefly.
A horse.
Kevin Spacey. Yeah.
Kevin Spacey is a horsefly that always stays.
He was still in it back then.
2002.
We didn't know any better.
Okay, groovy drums starting up. We gotta get out of here.
What movie are we gonna watch next time?
That's an excellent question. I was hoping that GameQueued would be able to tell us.
I hope the world has stopped spinning by next year.
I haven't heard of that Dreamworks title before. I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas.
If we're gonna do that, I guess I'm dummy number 1. Good night and good bless.
I'm dummy number 2, and this podcast is through.
And I'm
do it.
Okay.
Horse.
That's it. Everybody go home. What a terrible movie.
I did not like that movie.
We did it.
It's bad.
Put that in.
No wave is too huge. No enemy is too powerful. For the most daring thief. Yeah. But the greatest challenge he'll ever face. We're going to die. Is the newest member of his crew.
A ship is no place for a woman.
You are the most ungrateful, impossible, insufferable.
I'd like to introduce you to your new bunkmate. Oh, if he starts hugging your leg, it means he likes you.
This summer.
5 on Marina.
Oh, no.
They've got a goddess on their tails.
This is going to be fun.
Danger at every turn.
Let's go!
And a whole shipload of adventure.
Give that guy a raise.
still think a ship's no place for a woman?
I think I'm gonna be sick.
From DreamWorks Pictures. Brad Pitt, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Who's bad?